A brief history of beer. Beer is defined as an alcoholic beverage usually made from malted cereal grain, flavored with hops, and brewed by slow fermentation. Most people know this, but do you know the history of beer? It is believed to predate writing and be around 9,000 years old. Of course, this beer tasted much different than we would be used to today. Beer as a refreshment dates back as early as 4300 BC. Brewing beer is depicted in some of the earliest human writings. One such example is an old Sumerian poem honoring Ninkasi, the patron goddess of beer. The pyramids themselves were built by people who were paid in beer. They would use their daily beer stipend as credit to buy other goods. One day's work equaled about a gallon of beer. Toward the end of the Roman Republic, Roman armies had begun to bring beer to Europe from their military campaigns, and Julius Caesar drank it with his legions. E tu birte? In the Middle Ages, monks began brewing beer in monasteries and keeping more precise records of recipes so they could be duplicated later. By the 1800s AD, German brewers are using barley and wheat as their fermentable malts. And within a couple hundred years, hops were added for bittering and flavoring. By the late 1400s, on one of Christopher Columbus's journeys to the Americas, he discovered the Native Americans making a beer-like substance completely independent of European influence. Around this time, Germany introduces the German Beer Purity Law, which only allows 4 ingredients in the production of beer in Germany: water, hops, barley, and later yeast when it was finally discovered to be the reason for fermentation. By the early 1600s, beer is being bottled and corked. Now we're starting to see beer that would taste more like what we are used to today. Across the Atlantic, pilgrims land on Plymouth Rock because they are low on beer. And, just a couple hundred years later, Budweiser opens in St. Louis. Regional and local breweries continue to grow, and by the early 1900s, there are nearly 3,000 breweries in America. However, in 1920, the 18th Amendment goes into effect and outlaws beer in the USA, closing nearly all the brewing industry. After over a decade, prohibition fails socially and economically, except for gangsters, and it is repealed by the U.S. Congress in 1933 under FDR's presidency. The few breweries who managed to stay afloat during Prohibition become the major breweries we still know today. This allowed those big breweries to dominate the market, and they still do, over 80%. However, in the 1970s, a small group of people started creating handcrafted beer in microbreweries across the U.S. This is the birth of the craft beer industry. Craft breweries like Sierra Nevada, Sam Adams, and Anchor Brewing continued to steadily grow in the 1980s and 90s. By the late 2010s, the craft beer industry has become a part of the American culture in numerous cities, large and small. With over 5,000 breweries in the U.S. and no signs of slowing down, craft breweries are becoming a staple in their communities. Much like in the pre-prohibition days, towns and its people rally around their local brewery for socialization, a sense of community, and a wide variety of high-quality beers. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to learn more about craft beer, please check out our website at slypup.com.